Hi there. My name is Diva, and I am thrilled to be your host. I'm excited to bring Raise Your Voice to the world. The idea came to me after taking a business course with Tony Robbins and Dean Graciosi. And being a podcaster was never on my radar of things I wanted to do. And inspiration struck at the most unexpected time. And when the idea came to me, I knew that I had to follow through. And I knew that this was an important endeavor for me and for hopefully many, many people who will join us in this journey. The idea was to, or is to, shed light on those who are navigating through mental illness and trauma on their path to wellness, and to offer support and hope by telling them that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and allowing people to tell their stories, to take back their power, to find their voice, to be able to share their stories with others, because we're in this together. And by helping each other, then we can get through it. When we know we're not alone, then it's much easier facing the dilemmas and the anxiety and the stress of what mental illness brings to us on a daily basis. And I know from my own struggles with PTSD and anxiety that every day can be a struggle, and it can be a struggle just to lift your head off the pillow. And I know firsthand what having a panic attack is like, and what mental illness can do to tear your life apart in so many ways. Um, I think what people don't realize is the amount of loss that, on top of dealing with mental illness, whatever that is, for whatever person, there is a lot of grief involved in it, because there is a lot of loss. There's a loss of relationships, or at least relationships the way we knew them. There is a loss of friendships, and simply because some friends don't know how to support and don't know how to be a part of your life when you are struggling through a mental illness. And so I think people don't recognize that there's a lot of grief associated with dealing with any kind of mental illness, because there's just not enough information out there. There's still a stigma attached to mental health. As much as we try to talk about it, as much as there are companies that support and openly ask people to talk about it, it's still not happening. There is still stigma attached to mental health issues. And I'm here to change that. And I want it to feel like we're sitting in my living room and having a chat about whatever our topic is, and that you are there with us, whether it's me talking to you by myself or whether there's a guest that's involved. And I'm so excited for the guests that I have that will be coming up on future episodes, because I have met some incredible people in my journey to wellness that I have to share their stories with you, because they gave me hope and they helped me on my journey to wellness. And it wasn't that long ago that I was still struggling. So when I look at my own path, I can't believe that I am able to say that I'm in a place where I am able to function at least better. And I still have days where I struggle, and I still have moments that are difficult for me to handle. And I still look to my support people when things get difficult. But I also have been able to find the coping skills and techniques to get me through these episodes and to help me bounce back a lot faster than what I used to. And it's in finding all these little solutions that have led to me being able to say that I am on a path to wellness. And I think it's a journey. We all travel a path, and there are bumps and curves in all our life journeys. And it's how we handle those little bumps or big bumps, as often happens in people's lives. And we struggle, and there are times that we have a hard time and don't know how to cope and deal, but that's okay. We don't often have all the tools that we need to face everything that happens, but it's about openly talking about it, and it's about finding solutions together. We are stronger together, much stronger than we are alone. It's just we have to find the right people, and that can be a hard lesson. Sometimes the people that we think or expect would be there for us aren't necessarily there when push comes to shove. And it's simply because of fear. That's my belief. I think fear drives people away. They don't understand what you're going through, and I think they're afraid to watch you go through it. It's hard to see someone suffer and not know what to do to help them. So I've come to a place of forgiveness for those who have decided to leave my life. And I understand that things were difficult. I understand that I can be difficult, especially when I'm triggered and when I'm going through a really rough time. But my hope is that people see past that and people see through those specific times to understand who I am at the very core of my being and who I am in my heart and my intentions to want to help and serve others and to want to be the best friend that I can be, the best daughter that I can be, the best teacher that I can be. That has become my life purpose, is I want to help as much as I can. So this is how this podcast came to be. It's about me wanting to help and to serve, and about me shedding some light on some mental illness issues that perhaps people have never heard of before, and perhaps that we do need to talk about because they're not going to go away. So ignoring them isn't going to make them go away. But when we talk openly about things, we start understanding things more, and we start understanding what we can do to help people when they are going through things. And my wish is that nobody ever has to deal with mental illness. But the truth is that sadly, the statistics show that that just isn't our reality. So, what can we do moving forward that can at least help and support those who may have to face things that they've never faced before? So, it's about me finding my voice. And now I'm sharing my voice with you. For about 4 years, I lost my voice. I lost my core essence of who I was. And I shied away from standing up for what I believed in because I was afraid of confrontation. And confrontation would buckle me. I would completely lose grip on my reality because it would send me spinning into my past. And it was really hard for me to face anyone who confronted me and um, who was angry in their confrontation. And so I avoided it as much as possible. But in that time as well, having been a singer my entire life, I couldn't sing. And it wasn't without trying. It wasn't that I was opting to not sing at all. But one, I didn't really have the desire to sing, which was unusual because music has always been my outlet. It has always been what I've turned to when I had a hard time coping with life, that I could escape in a song. I could escape singing, playing piano, whatever that was that I needed at the time. And I could spend hours totally immersed in music, in my music, and what I do. And I found that that wasn't helping me anymore, and that I was shying away from using music as my outlet. And I also couldn't physically sing the way I could. It just didn't feel the same in my voice. And it upset me because that has always been what I've turned to. And so not having the ability, that's how my voice is how I identified myself. So not being able to sing really played with my mind and didn't help in dealing with the anxiety because it was actually adding to my feelings of depression and the stress level because I didn't understand why my voice wasn't working. In January of 2020, I unfortunately had to face a confrontation with a group of people who I thought were my friends, and I had to stand up for what I believed in. And I did. I stood up for what I believed in, and unfortunately, it wasn't to the satisfaction of other people involved in this discussion. And unfortunately, they used my mental health against me and they threw it in my face. But it wasn't that my mental health was an issue, it was that they didn't like what I had to say. And it was in me being able to stand up for myself and stand up for what I believed in and my integrity that I found my voice again. And although I lost friends, I gained self respect and I gained love for myself. And I felt like I was back. I felt like me again. And yes, it hurt that I lost people that I thought were really good friends. But at the same time, I felt powerful. I felt like I had conquered something that was huge in my life. So I put it to the test and I was feeling great, um, despite the sadness of losing people who were close to me. But I felt strong and I felt like for the first time I was able to wake up and not fear what was ahead. And for the first time in a long time, my day didn't involve me just trying to stay alive. Because for many, many years, every day was about surviving it, quite literally, because of suicidal ideation. And with PTSD, that's a common thing that we deal with. So every day was about me having to make a conscious choice to stay alive. And all of a sudden, I went days without that thought and recognized that it wasn't there anymore and that I was grateful for the wonderful people that I still have in my life. And I was able to recognize just how blessed and how abundant my life truly is. And so I put that to the test and I sang for the first time, like really sang, probably in at least 4 years. And the song I chose, I just chose it. I didn't think anything of it, but it was in the singing of this song that there was a big message for me in it. The song is Defying Gravity from the musical Wicked. And for those who know me, I'm a huge musical theater Broadway nerd. So it's what I've been passionate about my entire life, and it's what I've taught for decades. So it's not uncommon that I would choose a musical theater song to sing, but the fact that that was the one I chose, it wasn't really on my roster of things I would normally sing, but this is what I chose to sing this particular day. And the words stood out to me. And this is what really resonated with me. And it goes something like this. I'm through accepting limits because someone says they're so. I'm through accepting limits because someone says they're so. And that hit me like a ton of bricks. And then this power surge came through me, and I belted out the rest of that song. And I felt incredible. I felt not just powerful, I felt this incredible love inside my core, my being, that life to me all of a sudden was worth living, and that I was grateful for all that has ever happened in my life, because it has brought me to this moment that I'm proud to say I am Diva, and I am here for you. And we are together in this life. And so it sort of brings me back full circle as to why I started this podcast. It was me finding my voice and me becoming empowered to use my voice for good. For good. See, that was a Broadway reference there. Um, but that's me in a nutshell. And so I want to use this platform to help other people find their voice and to take back their power and be able to offer a hand to those who are feeling alone and who are silently suffering. I want them to know that they don't need to feel so alone anymore, that there's so many of us out there that are struggling every day, and that's okay. We will struggle. There will always be struggle. But it's in standing firm in our belief that we are all one people and we are all here for each other. So, my offer to you, stay with me on this journey. We'll go through life together, and we will address anything and everything that comes to light that needs to be talked about. We need to talk openly about mental health, because if you're not going through a mental health issue yourself, I bet you know somebody who is. And if we can shed some light on what that looks like, how that feels, so that people can truly understand what these illnesses, disorders, whatever diagnoses, whatever these diagnoses are, then we're giving people the tools that they need to help each other. And isn't that what life is about? It's about helping each other. So, are you up for the challenge? Are you up for coming with me on this journey? Let's talk. Tune in to Raise Your Voice.